Hi, welcome to Two Non-Yarn Snobs,
Hi, everybody.
a podcast about the fiber arts. I'm Sabrena, admin.
I'm Anna.
This is Anna, and you can follow us on Instagram at Two Non-Yarn Snobs. You can email us at twononyarnsnobs@gmail.com, and you can find us on Ravelry. I, Sabrena, am JD's girl, and you can find Anna as Joey's rib. Woohoo!
Notice we have new graphics.
We do have new graphics.
Okay, that's for in a minute.
Yep. So, life updates.
Life update.
Life updates. I don't know. I haven't really been doing a whole lot over the last 3 weeks, but working. Because the weather's getting warmer, and we're getting busier and busier at work. Today we had 27 puppies come visit us. Anyway, so
That's an average day.
Yeah, so we're podcasting a little later in the day than we have been. We got some new lighting, and I hope that you can see us okay. What about you?
Okay, my life update. You notice I still don't have dentures in?
Yes, we noticed.
Yeah. Joey came home this week and said, hey, don't use our health savings card. They give us a credit card for our health savings accounts.
Okay.
Don't use it.
Why?
I said, why? And he said, because they're changing banks, so these cards are no good anymore. They're sending out new ones. Well, you cannot pay yourself back when you spend out of pocket.
Yeah.
With the health savings card. It has to be spent on health care. It cannot be spent like buying groceries because you just use all your grocery money. So now I'm waiting for the new card to come in. Even though, yes, I do have the money, I still can't recompensate myself.
Right, absolutely. You need to use your health care.
I'm waiting for that to come in. Let's see what else. I got my bug back this week, and to the tune of about $2,400.
And she drove it today.
And I drove it today. Still needs a new air conditioning system, and it needs a new stereo because my radio doesn't work anymore. But otherwise, it's great. Let's see. We're going to Eureka.
We are going to Fiber in the Ozarks in Eureka Springs next month. And
which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. And they have, of course, there'll be yarn, there'll be shopping. Which
Did you decide what classes you're going to take?
I really have not decided.
Because you mentioned at one time that you were going to let our viewers decide what classes you take.
Yes, we would have to read them the list. And I think that's a great idea. Y'all tell us what, because there's a lot of classes available. Some of them I wouldn't necessarily be interested in, like crochet beginnings or basics. I don't think that I would necessarily be interested in that one. Thank you. My husband just came in and brought me a cup of coffee and some roses and was wearing the most ridiculous getup that he could find to make me laugh. But we'll read the list of what classes are available, and I can take 2. So I'm going to let y'all choose one, and then I will choose the other. There's lots of classes. I think you could take, and they have them spaced out enough that you could probably take 6 classes. I'm not going to take 6 classes. Because I want it to be a relaxing weekend, and I want to have some time to sit and spin or knit or just veg out. Maybe soak in a hot tub or go swimming in a pool or...
Not only that, I don't want to spend $600 on classes.
Oh yeah, classes are expensive too.
Is the pin loom class the most expensive one?
Yeah.
It's $75.
It is. And there's lots of classes that are like $35. And I think basically what it is the class costs $35. And then if they provide materials for the class, then that's the extra charge.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I've been looking at. They're going to have a pom-pom animal class, and it comes with a book and the Clover pom-pom makers, and I was like, that's cheesy. And then I looked at some of them online, and I was like,
they kind of look cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How do they do that? Anyway, it's a pretty late class on Saturday. Like, I think it ends at like 4. And generally we're...
homeward bound by 2.
Yes. Yes. So anyway, well, I will read you, maybe Saturday I'll come on and read you the list of classes that are available. And because today might be a little bit of a longer episode because we went 3 weeks. But it may not. We might not just be that chatty. Who knows?
You're the only one with FOs.
Yeah, I don't have that many.
I'm a slacker again.
I don't have that many FOs.
She did 7 hats. Don't let her lie to you. And a poncho.
That's amazing coffee. So I think I'll come on Saturday and read you the list of what classes are available, and the majority wins, and then when we come back, I'll share with you what I learned, and maybe you can learn something too.
And I'm sorry, I've already chosen my classes.
She's taking some pretty fun classes though.
Yeah. The rigid heddle loom weaving.
Yeah.
Pin weaving.
The pin loom, yep.
And the
needle felted
bees. I have friends that are beekeepers.
I have
that I think would
my
like
little
that.
needle felting kit right here.
That her now boss then.
Yeah.
Well, it was Alicia that gave her that.
I wish you gave it to me for my birthday.
Yeah, it was that her now boss, then employee, gave her for last Christmas.
Yeah.
And she got it off of Wish, didn't she?
She did, and
Yeah.
it's really a nice kit, really.
Thinking about looking and seeing if I can find one. If they still have them on Wish. Wish takes forever to ship.
I know.
Joey's outfit for Krista and Josh's wedding still has not made it to us.
I ordered a pair of sandals.
Which is fine because now the wedding has been postponed.
I ordered a pair of sandals off Wish because they kept popping up in my Facebook feed.
Uh-huh.
They shouldn't do that to me, by the way. But they were like $10 or $9 or something. I ordered them, and it has been 6 weeks already. I'm like, it's almost spring, and I need my sandals.
Mm-hmm. It's been about that long since I ordered Joey's boots and kilt and shirt for the wedding.
This should be the toenail right here. Me holding a bright, shiny silver cup of coffee.
You mean the thumbnail?
The thumbnail. Yeah, well.
I never choose the thumbnails. I just upload and go, oh, I hope it makes it. Fingers crossed this works.
Okay. I think that's enough shenanigans.
Oh,
On
come
to-
on. Can't we have more shenanigans?
Oh, wow. Our lights are really blowing it out, huh? FOs!
You're the only one.
Oh, and it has no FOs.
And it has no FOs.
So, y'all, if you don't know, if you're new, thanks for coming, by the way.
Please comment, like, and subscribe.
We missed all that, but we appreciate you. Even, we read every comment. We try to respond to every comment, and we appreciate you. So we are running.
We're still in admin.
Yeah.
The scrap along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are co-hosting a spring scrap along with Homemade with Love by Loretta and Blaine. And if you haven't seen their channel, go check them out. They're wonderful people. We are going to have prizes, one from Instagram and one from Ravelry. You have to join our Ravelry group. Have you got threads opened?
Thread is open.
The thread is open. And some of us have a finished object. I'm not going to go over all the rules. Anna has a video out there a couple of videos back. Go check it out. And she has all the rules. Like, I would miss some. I would screw that up. I'm telling you. It's the truth. But she did a really good job and has all of the rules laid out. It's going to be, when I get all the price stuff together, we'll tell you about it, show you. But I know I'm going to make some project bags, and the girl I work with is making some handmade soaps, and I'm probably going to pull some yarn off of one of these shelves. Maybe one of these cones of yarn, I don't know. I have plenty, and I'm willing to share.
It'll be fun.
It will be. So, I had to enter my own scrap along, right? Not that I'm going to win
She's
prizes.
not eligible for prizes.
But I should be making a scrappy project, so I did. And this...
I think you should put that on.
Okay, I'll put it on. This is just no pattern, my pattern.
I'm sorry, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
So if I knew how to edit, I would probably edit this out because y'all are like, what are they laughing at?
Jerry just came in another funny get-up.
He really did. Eating a banana popsicle. So this is just, I did not go find a pattern on Ravelry or on YouTube. I just chained to what I thought would fit nicely around my neck, and I settled on 84 stitches and made a 4-point poncho. And I did not care where the yarn changed colors. So if it changed colors in the middle row, I just did it. And I really like it. I might have got a little carried away on the fringe because this is 12-inch fringe. And I put 2 strands in every stitch.
Well, you get the right hippie and they'll say you can never go crazy enough on fringe.
Yeah. So I think it turned out really nice. I really like it. I'm pretty happy with it. Now the heat's on in this room, so we'll see how long I wear it.
Now my question is that a Sabrena to keep poncho, or is that a Sabrena to go in the gift box poncho?
I don't know.
Or is that a Sabrena's gonna sell poncho?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that answered that question.
I really like it.
I like it too, and I think it suits you.
I do too. But, you know, I think that one's going to suit me better.
Oh. You'll see that one in the whips.
Yeah. But I'm really happy with this. I just did 84 stitches, a 4-point poncho. Like, y'all could do this. 84 stitches, and I did a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet.
I was gonna ask what you do at the corners.
Then I did 20 double crochets, and then a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, 20 double crochets, and there's no fancy stitches because I knew it was going to be plenty busy. You know, it wasn't going to need any texture.
Yeah, it doesn't need bobbles or post stitching or anything like that. No, it looks beautiful like it is.
Plenty busy. And I did not make a dent in my scraps. Not a dent. You would think with all this yarn that it would have went down a lot, but it did not. And there might be over 2 skeins of white yarn in the fringe. They did not have labels on them, and they had been used out of. I did not have...
Well, they still count as scraps as long as some has been used out of them.
Well, see, I didn't put that in my scrap basket. Half a skein, if it's a half a skein, I put it back on the shelf with its brothers and sisters. So, but, yes, there's over 2 skeins of white in the fringe. And they're not perfectly the same color of white either. But I don't think you
won't be able to tell unless you're just specifically looking for that.
So I'm really happy with it. And
I like it.
I might wear it tomorrow to work.
I like it.
But then as soon as I get to work, it has to come off because dog toenails and crochet and knitting really don't get along.
That's true. They really don't.
They don't.
Which makes me really sad.
Yes, I mean, I could wear more knitwear if I had a different profession. But I was born to groom dogs, and that's what I do.
I could wear more knitwear and crochet wear if I didn't have so many dogs.
Okay. I'm usually way better prepared for a podcast than this, but I don't know. Life happened, I guess. This hat, which is a little bit slouchy, and it's got a pom-pom, a party in the back, is Plymouth Yarn Europea Tweed. That's going to blow it out too much, I think. There you can see it. And it is 50 grams. And it is 70% wool, 20% acrylic, and 10% rayon. And this is Bag O' Day. Like the last hat pattern she did. I didn't write down the tutorial number because I'm bad. And I made this one kind of slouchy. And I made the pom-pom. And it is Tofu Tweed in the color number, whatever it is. It just has a color number. It doesn't have a name. So that's hat number 1. Here's hat number 2. And this came out of the stash basket, the scrap basket. I have no clue what the yarn is.
It's cute.
But hat number 2.
Is that all one yarn or?
It's all one yarn.
Okay.
Pom-pom included. Okay. Hat number 3 is Scarfy. I've been into weaving.
Oh.
This is Scarfy. And I like it. I think my husband's going to like it a lot. It's very manly. Number 4 is Hobium's Cartofu Tweed. Melange Tweed.
In whatever color number it is.
In whatever color number it is. And this one is some of the brown and some of the creamy color of theirs.
I really like that yarn.
It is very soft yarn. It does fluff and peel.
It peels.
But it's nice and soft. So those are all chunky weight number 5 yarns with a J hook. So I said, well, I can do this in a worsted weight, go down to an H hook, and just do more increases before start working on the body of the hat. And man, did I make this is Loops and Threads Twister yarn.
That's pretty.
Yes, it's pretty. It's pretty lucky I didn't throw it in the trash.
Fits my head, doesn't it? That's the one that you were texting me and
yes,
talking about throwing it across the room.
I fought with this yarn every stitch. Every stitch. To say it is splitty is an understatement. I fought with this yarn every stitch. This hat took me 3 times as long as it should have. And if it wasn't beautiful, it wouldn't be here. Because it was the most frustrating thing I've done in years. And my pom-poms I just tie on. But I put a button in. It's just the yarn goes through the button to help stabilize them. And to where they're not so floppy. And I just made a pom-pom. Because if y'all haven't figured it out yet, I don't shop. Hardly ever. I very rarely even walk inside of a Walmart. It's just not my thing.
She made that pom-pom because she didn't want any of that yarn left in her house.
Ooh, that is true. Yes, absolutely. But I also don't internet shop. Not very often. My husband does all the shopping. And not that he wouldn't buy me some faux fur pom-poms from Amazon. But he'd be like, really? Really? So, I just made some pom-poms. Okay, so that's all my hats. I had one more of the pink ones with the same yarn, and I made a pink pom-pom to match. But what got me started on the hat, the week of the hat, because really probably all I did all week long, 1 week, is make hats, was one of the girls I work with said, hey Sabrena, would you make me a hat, and I'll pay you for it. And I said, well, and I'll buy the yarn and I'll pay you for it. I said, please don't buy me any yarn, because I want to pick out my own yarn. If I'm going to buy a yarn, I want to at least have control over what I get.
Yeah.
And she said, okay. And so I was going to make all these and just let her choose which one that she wanted. And I said, well, you can't have it until after a podcast. Because that's my general rule for everyone. Yep, but you can't have it until after our podcast. And we were running a little late podcasting, and I said, here's this pink one, because I have 2 of those. If you want a pink hat, here's a pink hat. And she said, I love the pink hat. I said, well, good, I'm glad. So I don't have it to show. And then I only have one more FO.
But that's okay, we'll give you credit for it.
Okay. I have one more FO, and I'm really not a fan of bulky yarns. Anything heavier than a worsted weight, I don't really care to work with it. And it's not that it makes my hands hurt or anything, but we're in central Arkansas. Like, we didn't see snow this year.
Well, I saw about 5 flakes.
Yeah. And, I mean, we had some cold weather, but nothing that you want bulky yarn, hats, mittens. So I'm just not a fan. So, in some of that stuff that some people have given me, I had some super bulky yarn. So I made a rug to go in front of my shower out of this super bulky chenille yarn. It's really soft. I give it that.
It's got sparkly in it too.
It is sparkly. And these are my colors. I love reds and oranges and browns, and yellows. I'm definitely in the warm family of colors that I prefer. So this will go in front of my shower now that we podcast, and it'll be nice and squishy to step out on. And this is just a simple circle. Yeah, no pattern. I started with 12, and then did 2 in each, and then 1 and 2, and then 2 and 2, and then 3 and 2. And this is brunette blanket yarn, and this is, I did save yarn labels. I'm saving all my yarn labels for the whole year, by the way. I'm putting them in a jar, and then I'm going to dump them out on New Year's Eve and see how much I did. Yarn Bee Chinchilla Party, and the colorway is Party On. Party On. Oh. And here is that evil yarn. Loops and Threads Twirl, which was 60% polyester, 40% acrylic, and splitty, and tangly, and hard to frog, and just a miserable experience. But you might like it. Loops and Threads Twirl. Okay, that's all my FOs.
Yay!
Works in progress.
There we go.
Works in progress. we got some new lighting. So, work with us. We're adjusting to it. But we can podcast a little later in the day, and that up there in the box is it's a doll. It's like one of the creepiest dolls I've ever seen. And my husband got it, and it has to live in here because everyone's kind of afraid of it. Ha! So what have you been working on, Anna?
Mark's never-ending sock.
You know the great news about never-ending socks, because I have knit a couple of pair of never-ending socks.
Yeah, I know you're singing the blue socks were never-ending.
Yes, and the first ones that I made him, the Plymouth yarn with the speckles.
Oh yeah.
The good thing about never-ending socks is you don't ever have to buy any more yarn. Do any of y'all have a never-ending project? Let us know what your never-ending project is in the comments.
I think I only have about 8 more rows left of blue, and then I can do my 3 rows of white, and then I can do the toe. They're never ending. I love my brother, and I love working with this yarn.
Excuse me.
But they are never ending.
They are super soft.
They are super soft.
So y'all know my child Landon is in Cub Scouts, and he had to do a build it project, a carpentry project, and I was like, Mom would really like to have, because I used to be mommy, but when he hit double,
he's 10.
He's 10 and he hit double digits. Now we are just mom and dad. I was like, Mom would really like to have some sock blockers, and that can be your carpentry project. And he's like, really? I'm really gonna take a pair of wooden socks to Scouts and say, I made these wooden socks for my mom. I'm like, that would be great. I would love it. And he's like, yeah, that's not happening.
Especially if you take a sock on one of the wooden socks.
He's like, that's not happening.
Explain why they are the way they are.
Yeah, he's making a wooden sword.
Oh.
Because he's 10.
Well, 10-year-olds are...
Oh, works in progress. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Okay, so...
Seriously, that's all I've got. Except for yarn.
That's okay. So whoa, bad light. So I started making these solid granny squares, and my intention is to make a spring top. So I have 4 of them going, a front, a back, and 2 sleeves. But then I thought I might turn them into a poncho. But so we'll have to wait and see what they turn into. But I'm working on 4 of these solid grannies. And this is a Yarn Bee sugar wheel. And I had 3, not 4, 3. Of course I only had 3, right? Because I wanted to make 4 squares, I only had 3. So I've been cutting, and I tore up the cake so I could make 4 squares. And I have the same amount of progress on all 4 because I want to make sure that they match exactly. And then I knew I wasn't going to have enough yarn because I wear a size 18. And I am 52 inches around the bust and the hips. And I need this to be a 27-inch square. So I have added some I Love This yarn in butter yellow. The lighting's a little harsh. I'm sorry. Maybe we can get some filters for them. And then I added some Caron Simply Soft in mint. Yep, you heard me. Because I had to have the right colors.
She hates Karen.
I do. But I needed the right colors. I mean, and I wasn't driving the half hour to Hobby Lobby, and I wasn't driving the hour to Joann's. So it was just whatever Walmart had. And I almost tore apart a Red Heart Ombre in that greens to get the minty color that I wanted to put in there. And I want that's just a waste. I'll just grab this little skein of Carol and Simply Soft.
Okay, now I've seen a top made out of granny squares. It's one big one on the front, one big one on the back, and then smaller ones on the side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that don't come. I mean, that don't come up. Obviously, they just come to right under your armpit.
Right.
To the hem, so they're more rectangle than.
Yeah.
But.
What I'm gonna do is a square in the front. And then a square in the back. And then one square for each sleeve.
Okay.
That's
okay.
my plan.
This one that I've seen is sleeveless.
Well, and honestly, I would rather have sleeveless because it's going to be over 70 degrees tomorrow. And it's March, the beginning of March.
I turned on my air conditioner yesterday.
I'm asked for them to turn the air conditioner on in a grooming shop because we have plate glass windows and they're tinted, but we get the afternoon sun and you bake in there. And I was like, we need to turn the air on. Now, this girl she worked for me from the time that she was 14 until she was 21, and then I sold it to her, and now I work for her. And she didn't hear me right. And she said, I kind of like the sweat, and it makes me feel like I'm losing weight. And I'm like, well, I'm taking my shoes off because my feet are baking. And then an hour later, she's like, it's kind of hot in here. We should turn the air on. I'm like, I said that an hour ago. She's like, oh, I misunderstood you.
Oops.
Okay.
But then how long did it take them to get the heat going? So.
Well, she had no control.
That's true. That was a landlord issue.
Yeah. So I have one more work in progress. And I will show it to you. And if you watched my video on Saturday, you've already seen it. But it did grow some more. And this is the Yarn Deli Poncho. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it is using up more of my scraps.
But there are no ends to weave in.
There's no ends to weave in because this is going to be the fringe. Oh, how fantastic is that? And it's knit on size 15 needles. So it's like flying. For knitting. This is flying by. And so now my scrap basket is now 2 baskets. 2. Because once I use a yarn, I want to put it in a different basket. And so I'm not repeating it until I have to. Yeah. But I am going to love this, and that's the
Jerry
lawnmower.
on the lawnmower.
Because, he's probably going to the shop or something, and he would hate to walk that, 500 feet or something. Anyway, the Yarn Deli Poncho, and I'm really, really liking it, and it's pretty wild, and it has novelty yarn in it, which I'm pretty sure that I have never bought any novelty yarn, but there was a bunch of it in that bag.
At least one of the one of the donated bags, there was a bunch of novelty.
So I'm using it. I'm gonna use it up.
Use it up.
Okay, that's all my whips.
Yay!
Yay!
Now we're off to
Yarn Adventures. That looks good.
Okay.
What do you think about the new graphics?
With my glasses on, I can't see.
Jerry made all the new graphics.
He did a very good job.
Yes.
Okay, what do we want to look at first? Do we care?
Well, let's open your box.
All right. We'll open.
This is Darn Good Yarn.
Which, by the way, they had a special.
Uh-huh.
For an extra $5 this month. You could buy the the DIY pom-pom kit.
Oh, awesome.
So I bought the DIY pom-pom kit.
Okay.
But look at that skein yarn.
Oh, now that's really pretty.
It's lace weight, and I think it's 100% silk. Super fine Anamica silk. It's got sparkle in it too, so I don't think it's 100%. But anyway, it's called Sparkle. It's Sandy Beach. Sparkle Sandy Beach.
How many yards? Did you already say?
I didn't say, but it says on there.
This probably is my favorite yarn that they've sent her. Made in India. 300 yards. Super fine.
And this week's little freebie notion thingy was 25 of these
Oh, I love those.
plastic
Stitch markers.
Here, you can have those.
I will take them. I love them.
Because while they're okay, I'm not the biggest fan of those.
It's a decent lace weight too. It's
Okay,
not
so-
too tiny.
And the book comes with as usual, two crochet options. I don't know if you can see those pictures very well.
Probably not.
And two knit options.
I keep leaning out of frame.
You know, for cowl scarves.
Let me see. Oh, look.
And then the pom-pom kit came with two different colors of faux fur.
Yeah, I like the red one.
And it came with two little white pom-poms
To cover with.
to stuff in, you know.
Yeah.
You do the running stitch and all that. It tells you how to do it, and then it comes with the thread and big snaps and needles and, you know, everything you need to make a couple of faux fur pom-poms.
It smells funny.
Which I thought would be fun. Well, it does come from India.
Yeah, it doesn't smell like curry.
Well, no, not all of India smells like curry. I don't think. I do have friends in India. I could ask.
You should ask, and let us know later.
And then let us know later. Get in there. Sheesh. Alright. One of my next projects, once I finish the Never-Ending Socks of Death, is going to be the Half Moon Tea.
It is beautiful.
It's by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarn.
Yay!
She and her mother have a podcast. They are the girls at the Yarn Cafe. And then I was telling y'all when last we podcast that I won't spend $200 to buy a sweater, but apparently I will spend $200 to buy yarn to make said sweater. So, what we have here, okay, the pattern is a crop top. I'm making it longer.
Because nobody needs to wear a boob warmer.
This fat girl does not look good in the boob warmers. Okay, so we have Sea of Poison.
It's a beautiful blue.
Which is going to be for most of the
And
yoke.
it has a darker blue in it.
Which is going to be for most of the yoke.
Okay.
Reckless Abandon, which is going to be the moons.
I like this one.
And
But I
then,
still think she should have got Red Jamie.
And then from her Outlander series, Heirloom. Now the kit comes with those four.
Uh-huh.
I bought 2 extra to make it extra long.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be enough to make it extra long. If it's not, I'll just wear it at whatever length. I'm going to use 100% of that yarn, and I'll just wear it whatever length it turns out.
Absolutely.
Now, we need a knife or scissors. Do you have any handy to
I do.
cut open some tape?
These might be dog grooming shears. That's okay.
If you've watched a couple of podcasts ago, and Sabrena said that on New Year's Day she found the back door open, and the dogs had a New Year's Eve party with the sock yarn.
They did.
I ordered this time from Yarn to Die For. That's Yarn to Die For.
I think it's wool to die for.
Yeah, wool to die for. My bad. I bought 2 bundles of 80/20 BFL nylon.
And there's 10
There's
skeins.
10 skeins per bundle, 4,000 yards per bundle. We have 8,000 yards of sock weight BFL nylon. Merry Christmas, happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh, it's so squishy.
Make sure that the back door stays locked. And
We
the
have
dogs
not
don't
had,
get the
and we have a gate out there now too. We have not had any doggy incidents. That's for sure.
So I don't know what color you're gonna dye yours up.
Well, I'm sure that I'm gonna dye one at a time. I'm sure. Whatever strikes my fancy that day, and
You want BFL socks, though.
I do. Yes.
I
I have spun BFL before. When you first start spinning, BFL is one of the fibers that they recommend that you start with because it's so easy to draft.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have spun BFL before. I have spun a lot of merino. A lot. But I like different breeds. And I groom dogs for a living. My hands are like man hands. Like, they're rough
They're
and tough.
callousy.
And
yeah.
so, a lot of people go, oh, it's so soft, it's so soft. Can't tell until I put it up on my neck. Then I can tell. But I can deal with a little more woolly wool than just a merino. Like, especially for outerwear, mittens, hats. Doesn't bother my forehead. Just around my neck.
That llama that you got
It's going to be a little itchy.
has to be outerwear.
Yeah, because the guard hairs are still in it. They sent it to a mill and had it processed, which is fine. And it's so light and fluffy
and beautiful.
And it's really a pretty color. And I'm spinning on it. I need to pick a day a week and just spin on that day, but I kind of just, when it hits me is when I spin. And
I think if you picked a day a week, it would feel like more like a chore.
Yeah, probably. But so, I know people who spend 15 minutes a day, every day. They sit down for 15 minutes and spend 15 minutes a day, and that's not much of a commitment. And to tell
sometimes 15 minutes turns into an hour.
And to tell the truth, I would probably spend more if my wheel was in the living room. I have to come out here and get it and then take it in there, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. But I think I'll probably just one skein at a time, whatever
strikes your fancy.
Really, I bet my husband gets into it before I do.
He's good. He's great at dyeing, though. He is so good at picking colors.
He is. So, he told me the other day, he said, I'm really in the mood to dye some yarn. And I said, well, remember the New Year's Eve party that we didn't have, but the dogs did? I said, I don't think I have very much blank yarn for you to dye. He's like, man, that's really awful. He said, I have this new idea. I was like, well, okay, what kind of new idea do you have? He's like, I want to wrap the yarn around a board that's covered in plastic and dye one half one color and then the other half another color. I thought, well, okay, but you could just dunk half the skein in the pot and pull it out and then dye the other half. Anyway, let's not bust his bubble. Let him do it any way he wants.
Anyway, I'm thinking mine we might do, depending on how I do on this half moon tea, this may become another half moon or full moon or
Yeah, that would be
couple of
plenty
half
awesome.
moons.
And y'all tell her down in the comments that she doesn't have to have a lot of FOs because y'all just want to see her lovely face and talk to her. Because
but anyway, my yarn's staying here.
knitting is much slower than crochet, and I adore both. I knitted long before I ever learned to crochet, but knitting just is a slower process.
Well, I'm not discouraged over not having any FOs because I know, one, I've been sickly the last several weeks, and two, my shoulder is jacked. I tried to raise up in bed last night and absolutely screamed in pain. Yeah, I know, but I gotta wait now for the card,
Insurance.
for the new card.
I woke up at 2 in the morning and was in so much pain. It woke me up out of my dead sleep. And I had to have Jerry rub stuff on my shoulder, and I might have taken something to help me sleep and went back to bed. But
Well, I can tell you now, I don't sleep well. This morning, I was still awake at 6:30 this morning from last night. I
should have texted
I
her.
took a 45-minute nap last night, from 6 to 6:45.
And then I'm the irritating friend that's like, "Are you coming today?"
She is the irritating friend that says, "It's 7 o'clock. Are you awake yet?" I just drifted off.
I'm guilty.
Heck no, I was not awake then.
I have done that, but not often.
Oh
But-
no, but then it's a couple hours later. Are you okay, Anna? Are you all right? What's going on? And I'm like, I just woke up. Like 6 hours after she first texted. But that's okay, because I do eventually get back to you.
Yeah.
She's worried out of her mind by then and ready to send out the cavalry. but
Yeah.
And sometimes it's me texting you going, are you okay? And see, I try really hard because I know that Sabrena goes to bed around 8:30, 9 o'clock
9
on a
o'clock.
weeknight.
Yeah. So I get up at 5:30 in the
I
morning.
try very hard to not text past 8 p.m. because in my house, if you're calling or texting after 8 p.m., something's wrong.
Yeah. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I don't have to be at work until 7:30, but I have to get the kid up by 6 to get him out the door by 7 because he is the slowest human on the face of the planet.
I think that's just testosterone. And it's only going to get worse.
This mama may not live through it.
Yes, you will.
Okay. He's very slow to get ready for school. Very slow.
I think all boys are. Except for maybe Andrew. The godson gets ready pretty quickly. But
She's
then,
lucky.
the sooner he gets to school, the sooner he gets away from his little sister. See, there's where you went wrong. You didn't adopt a little sister for him.
We almost did.
You should have. Like I have any say in the matter.
We almost did. She came and stayed with us for about a month, and and they fought a lot. They would have went to kindergarten together, even though she was almost a year younger than him.
No.
Like, almost a year younger, but his birthday's in October, and her birthday was in July. And so she was going to turn 5, and he would be almost 6. And they fought a lot.
No, see, like
and then he looked at me and said, "Why couldn't you think about a brother?"
Like with Andrew and Becca, there's, 4 years difference between them. You have to have more than, I think more than 2 years between boys and girls. Because, and this is just my never to be humble, don't know anything about raising kids opinion. I am 6 years younger than my youngest brother. My oldest brother was 8 years older than me, and they could not stand me.
I get that because
I mean, but we were far enough apart though that, they didn't, Mom made them take me everywhere.
yeah, my baby sister and I are 13 years apart. What was my mom thinking? She started over. She had 2 families. I mean, anyway, I was 13 years old when she was born. We have nothing in common.
Is she your brother's mother too?
Now, I have an older half brother and 2 younger half sisters.
Okay.
My dad had a heart attack and died when I was an infant. I was 16 months old.
So he belongs to your dad?
My brother belongs to my dad. And then my sisters, we all have the same mother. And the 2 younger ones have the same dad. And he was a great stepdad. I couldn't have asked for any better. He treated me just like one of his kids. I was one of his kids. But me and the baby sister, nothing really in common. And I think that we were just born too far apart. 13 years was just too big an age difference.
I mean, so, see, that's the thing. When we were kids, Chris and I thought like cats and dogs. But then as we grew older and we were 600 miles apart because he lived in the Chicago area and I was down here, that totally changed. That whole dynamic changed. And, he was just my big brother that I wanted to spend time with then.
Yeah.
Well,
I talked to my baby sister we talked on Messenger the other day, and her probably the first time since my mom passed, and that's been 6 years, and I'd sent her, some happy birthday.
I can't believe it's been that long since your mother passed.
It has, and I sent her a happy birthday message because her birthday was in February, and not just a one-liner. I wrote her a paragraph or something, and a couple of weeks later she responded, and we talked probably for an hour, and we weren't screaming at each other, so that's a good thing.
Things change as you grow. But then you have the one sister that used to work for Target, and all she would make for her was bread.
Yep, so she could wear it to work. I did.
That was so mean.
And now she has an office job, and she gets to wear a lot of her hand knits and things, and people will ask her where she got it, and she said she'll tell them my sister made it for me, and they're like, "Do you think she'd make me one?" And she just does not even ask me, and she responds no, and her general response is, "You should get a sister who knits."
I tell people no, but I'll be glad to, direct you to the person who can teach you how to knit yourself.
Knitting, crochet, weaving, all fantastic skills to have. So I will come back on Saturday and read you the list of all the classes that are available, and y'all can tell me in the comments what you think I should take, and then I'll come back and share what I learned, if I learn anything. It's in April, so we have lots of time, but I need to send in my forms so I can get into the classes because they only take so many.
Yeah, and they only take so many students per class. And we need to add up mine so I can give you my cash so that way you can write them a check.
But anyway, we've been on here for almost an hour, guys. Can you believe that? We rambled for an hour. We're gonna get off here.
We got to chatting, you know.
I'm gonna cook some supper for my family of some sort.
I'm gonna go grocery shopping.
And I'm gonna crochet or knit. Maybe knit tonight. Because I got this knitted poncho going for the scrap along and I'm really loving that. I really like the crocheted one too. And I really do want to do more of my own patterns. I don't know if I'll manage to get one on Ravelry or not, but I quit doing my own stuff so I could inspire y'all and find new patterns for y'all, but kind of miss doing my own stuff. So we'll see. Until next time, have fun with your fiber adventures. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.